Hi students, as I have been posting previous videos about consumer behavior models where I have explained contemporary models like Howard Sheet model, Nicosia model. Today I am going to explain Engel-Collat-Blackwell model, or it's known as EBM model. So this is in your subject Consumer Behavior and Neuro Marketing, which is a third semester MBA subject under BCU. So this EBM model is known as a multi-mediation model. It shows how the consumer decision making takes place in 5 steps, that is in the form of inputs, information processing, decision process, decision process variables, that is the what are the variables which influence the decision process of a consumer, and what are the external influences, that is environmental or situational influences. So the 5 basic steps which this model is talking about is: first, the consumer recognizes a problem or a need for a product. Then he goes in search of information about the product. More information he will collect. He will collect various alternatives, that is product under various brands he will collect, and then he will evaluate all those different brands, that is alternative evaluation. Then he will choose one of the brands, and the outcome is he decides to purchase. So this is the basic on which this EBM model is based. So this is the diagram of EBM model, which shows the inputs, what are the inputs, how the information processing happens, how the decision process takes place, and what are the variables which is influencing the decision of a consumer. So inputs are all the stimuli, that is the marketing information, in the form of product, in the form of advertisements, in the form of various forms of promotion. So these are all the inputs which the consumer is exposed to. So when the consumer is exposed to these different forms of promotion, then the consumer decides, he'll decide what he wants to pay attention to and what he does not want to pay attention to. So with that information which he is exposed to, he will develop a perception, he will comprehend, that is he will develop understanding about that product or brand, and then he will decide to accept some information which he has received. He may decide not to accept some information that he has received, and all this he will retain in his memory. So all this is happening internally. So then the next component is the decision making process. So first the consumer recognizes that he has a problem or he has a need which needs to be fulfilled. So he goes in search of different products, and then he finds out different brands of that product, and then he evaluates those different brands, and then he goes for the purchase decision. So the outcome is the post purchase behavior, whether he is satisfied or whether he is dissatisfied with the purchase. So all this, going in search of brands, evaluating the different brands, and going for purchase is influenced by the consumer's beliefs, attitude, and what is his intentions for purchase. So what is his belief? What is his attitude towards the product? What are his intentions to purchase? All this will influence these steps in the decision making process. So the variables which are influencing this decision making process of a consumer is: what are the individual characteristics of the consumer, what type of personality he is, what is his values, what is his motives for purchase, what kind of lifestyle he is leading, what are the social influences, what kind of society he is living in, what is the culture he has grown up, what are the reference groups he is mingling with, what is his family type. All these are the variables. And along with that, we have the situational variables or environmental variables, which also influence the decision making process of the consumer, like whether the economic conditions are good, whether the economic conditions are bad, what is the market like, what are the market situation, is it inflation, is it deflation, is the country in a good economic position. So all these are the situational factors, whether there is a lot of demand for the product or whether there is very less demand for the product. All these are the situational factors. So this is the EBM model which has been explained in this diagram. So, how the EBM model is applied in marketing decisions. So, the EBM model is basically showing how the consumers take decisions and how the inputs influence him in processing the information, and what are the variables which is influencing his purchase decision. So, this model says that the consumer takes the decision in a very conscious way, and the consumers are very much involved in the decision making process. So the marketers can come to know what are the variables which is influencing his decision, which variables are important, and what are the products which the consumer needs to fulfill his needs or to solve his problems. And also the marketer can innovate his products based on the EBM model, because he comes to know how the consumer's attitude change, how they process information, what motivates them to purchase. He comes to know more about the theories which on attitude, theories on perception, theories on motivation. So all this will help him to make his product better, to innovate his product more, so that he can induce the consumers to go for purchase. So this is the EBM model which is explained in short.